Keep tweeting at KUTV Kenya. Use the hashtag Biashara Tuesday. Tag me at Richard_Okenya. Welcome to the show. If you're joining us for the first time, where are you watching us from? How is it like the morning there? If you're watching us for another time, what brought you back? What would you like to see on the show today? We'll keep that in mind. But right about now, we are getting into a very interesting conversation. I think last week, I was looking back at the show. I said that we are addressing the most important conversation of our time. It so happens that every single Tuesday, I feel like the conversation I'm having at that time is the most important conversation of our generation. And today, I have to say that for sure this one is software development in the Republic. In Kenya, how has software development been changing, and how can we adjust with emerging technologies that have been seen from last year? OpenAI released ChatGPT. This is a chatbot technology that you can prompt for various tasks that you use. It is the fastest growing technology in history. In the first month alone, it had amassed millions of subscribers. Right now, I think it is over hundreds of millions, and the possibilities of what this technology can do are endless. We're trying to see how can you adjust and adapt to these developments in the world of technology. And if you want to get into this space, software development and its adjacent fields, what can you do to prepare yourself, and how ready can we get generally as a nation? Here with me is Alex. He has been an aspirant for Member of Parliament. He'll be telling us how that was, the journey in politics, but also he's a software developer, and he's going to also inform us where he practices that at, and also how the lessons have been so far, and how you can learn, or what you can learn from him. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Right. Introduce yourself to our viewers here. I don't know if you want to go with the political angle or a software developer, but the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Richard. My name is Alex Kimboy. I was born in Lingwai village, found in Tarakwa location, Kese sub-county in Uasin Gishu County. I went to school at Lingwai Primary School, proceeded to Chebara High School, then I got admitted to KISS University, where I studied software engineering. And in 2022, I was lucky to be among the few candidates who ran for office. And I want to say it was a great experience running for office, sharing my ideas with the constituents of KSS. And I want to take this opportunity to thank them for voting me and telling me to wait for the next election.
Right.
Yes.
They told you to wait for the next election, so it's, as you said, it's a dream deferred, yeah?
Yes.
The dream is still going on. So in 2027, look out for Alex in the constituency of KSS. How's the experience like, campaigning and going into the ballot?
Yeah, so running for office in Kenya is one of the most challenging ventures that you can venture as a young man. Especially in Kenya is an African country where they still believe on people who have advanced in age. And as a young man or as a youth who decided to pursue politics at an early age, it was a great opportunity for me to learn. Number one, in terms of resources, you are required to have a lot of resources. For example, during the nominations process, the parties in Kenya requires you to pay the nomination fees,
right,
which most of the youths do not afford to raise such a big amount. The process itself, the nomination process, is mad with a lot of irregularities, a lot of fraudery, and they are never fair. So in the process, you realize that young people are pushed away, and those ones with money have their way. Going to convince the electorates, telling them about the big ambitions that you have. They get to wonder, we took you to school to go and study software engineering. Why are you coming again to pursue politics? Was one of the biggest challenge. But I must say that it was a great experience. And I want to encourage young people that let us go for these positions, because in Kenya right now, we have so many good people who don't want to participate in politics, which is policy making. And the punishment that we get as good people is be ruled by fools. But if we take over as good people and participate in politics, then we will get good leaders who are going to transform our country and make our country to be a better place.
Right. The punishment that we get as if we don't do our selection well, we don't participate in the democratic process, it's that we get to be led by fools.
Yes.
I don't think I will say further than that. Let people be thinking about it. You said that when you went back, part of the challenge was trying to convince the people back home that, you send me to school to study software development. I'm back here trying to do politics. You had a manifesto. How was that like?
After going to school and studying software engineering for 4 years, my mind was opened and I saw the power that we can use in software development to change our community. For example, I had this manifesto where I wanted to install internet in all our villages. We have like 5 locations in Kese sub-county. And I had this dream that if I'm elected as the member of parliament, I was going to install internet in every village. With internet, you can do so much. Young people can start working on their smartphone on remote jobs and making money. In the process, we address the issue of unemployment. I had this manifesto of creating a state-of-the-art modern facility in cases, a hub, where young people can go do their recording. For example, if they are musicians, if they have any talent, they get a place where they can freely go and do their things. They want maybe to do graphic design. They want to pursue maybe machine learning. They want to do things in data engineering, and maybe they don't have money to buy these machines. So I was thinking that we can use the money, that the taxpayers' money. We create a state-of-the-art facility, install computers there, have internet, hire experts who can train our young people at home, and in the process address these issues of unemployment in Kenya. But I want to tell you, Richard, one thing, that immediately when I accepted to lose the election, I forwarded my manifesto to the current MP, and I hope that he's going to act. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who gets to do it. It's about the work being done.
Right.
Yes.
Sounds like a leader there. I think I would want that to be my member of parliament. Hopefully the people of Keses are listening, and also hopefully that the current member of parliament, what's the name of the current MP?
It's called Julius Ruto.
Yes, hopefully that Bwana Julius Ruto is getting to implement some of those things that you forwarded to him. Something interesting I noted that in your constituency, since the residents, since independence, have only elected one member of parliament for more than one term. And this happened in 1992. How's that? Is that, I don't think I've seen that where I come from or in places where I've tried to reside. How is it possible that since 1963, there's only been one member of parliament who's gone for 2 terms?
It has been hotly
contested.
Yes, it has been hotly contested in the past, and it has been also a loss to us as the people of Cases, because we elect a member of parliament for 4 years. He comes up with ideas. Some of these ideas cannot be implemented in 5 years. So in the process, we end up losing as the constituents of Cases. But the Cases people are people who embrace change very fast. And if you come with new ideas and they believe in them, they will surely elect you irrespective of your background. We were a constituency. We elected, let me call him a foreigner. He was an Indian. Mishra Kiprop wasn't a Kalenjin, because the dominant community in Cases is Kalenjin.
Right.
But we elected an Indian to be an MP. We gave him an opportunity to do what he did. And right now, they've elected Julius. They've given him an opportunity to also do the same. So I think it's both good, and it also we're also losing it, because some of the ideas that we have, or what these leaders have, might not be implemented within the 5 years. They might even require longer time, like 10 years.
Right. ICT and technology is one of those ideas that you're trying to bring forth, creating an ICT business park to make Cases Kenya's ICT hub. What was the vision around ICT and technology?
Yeah, my vision is we have so many young people. At some point during the hotly contested election, there's a young man from Cheptiret ward who was arrested simply because he was termed as is it a robber, stealing money from people's phone. But to me, that is a talent that we need to tap. and we make sure that we don't let those ideas and the innovativeness that the young people in cases have, we put it into implementation. I was thinking of having a software factory in cases. When we have a software factory, we start creating our own softwares. We will not have to procure softwares from other countries like China. Right now, the systems that are being used by most of the government organizations in Kenya here, like KRA, for example, are using softwares that have been procured from other countries. But I strongly believe that in Kenya right now, the software developers that we have in Kenya can develop these softwares for us. And we instead of exporting our cash, we retain our money here, and we get to give employment to our young people. So the ICT park in cases was going to really be a game changer, but I still strongly believe that we will still get it done at some point.
Right, putting cases on the map, yeah, so that the rest of Kenya can know that this is going to be an ICT hub as you promised, yeah, as you envisioned it. Now, Alex, my mother is watching this show, and her question will be, what in the name of God is software? What exactly is software? There's a whole generation of people who only experienced hardware, and now when they hear software development, they hear artificial intelligence. All these things can be a bit confusing. Maybe we start there from layman's explanation. What is software, and what is software development?
Okay, so software are a set of instructions that helps a computer user to perform a particular tasks. In a layman's language, most people are calling them apps. You'll hear somebody talking about send me an app, your sender, send me an app for maybe browsing, doing that. That is a software. So ideally, softwares are a set of instructions written by programmers that helps you as a computer user to perform a specific task. Maybe you want to perform some calculations in a computer. The hardware doesn't do that for you. It's the software that does the calculations for you, because there's some logic written behind it that helps you to perform those arithmetic calculations. So ideally, that is what a software is. While software development now is the whole process of coming up with a software, starting from the phase of idea, coming up with an idea, all through the process of design, requirements, gathering, the process of the actual system construction, where you write the code, the process of testing, doing maintenance, up to the stage of deployment, where the users can now use the software. So ideally, software is the product, while software development now is the process of coming up with this product.
Right. How has the software development industry in Kenya evolved over the past 10 years that you've been in this space?
The software development in Kenya has really evolved, and I'm really looking forward to even more changes in the coming days, because more people have started embracing software development in Kenya. Right now, most businesses are being run through a software. If you go to hospitals, they're using softwares to do management of their processes. If you go to learning institutions right now, they have so many types of softwares that they're using to perform their tasks. So ideally, in Kenya right now, most people have embraced technology. And I want to urge even some of the government organizations that have not embraced the use of technology. For example, we can digitalize the land recording system in Kenya, so that if you want, for example, to get your title very fast, you just do it online, and you're good to go. So I think the future is bright, and it's just a matter of time, and we get good to go.
As someone who's been in politics, do you think maybe eventually we'll be able to vote from our home? I see this happen even in the United States, where someone can cast a vote, send it through a ballot, send it through a post office, and it gets there and it's counted as a valid vote. Maybe to reduce that process, do you think maybe there's going to be a time I can just vote for Alex right through my phone? Or is that a possibility you envision at any point?
Already the signs are there, Richard.
Okay.
You must have seen in the 2022 election, there was a public portal where results were being sent from a polling station all through to a public portal. And you, as a mathematician or somebody with a calculator, you could just take a calculator, download the forms, perform the calculations for yourself, and you have the results. I wonder when I hear people complain about the results, when actually there was a portal where results were posted there. So the future is very luminous, and I strongly believe that in the next, let me give 10 years. By 2032, we should not be going physically to vote in a polling station. You should just be able to vote on your phone. Already other countries are doing it. I'm sure Kenya can also do it.
Right, definitely. Something that has been happening to software developers, I'm sure you've noticed this, is brain drain, especially in Kenya. When big tech came to Nairobi, the likes of Safaricom and its brothers were complaining that, these people are being given hefty salaries, and then they're moving all their services to Microsoft or to Google or to Meta and the rest of big tech. Is there a role that government can play in supporting software development in the country, so that, for me, we don't lose this kind of talent? Is it possible, and in what way do you envision that happening?
Now, it's very unfortunate that the Salaries and Remuneration Commission in Kenya has a standard way of paying all its employees. And I really think that the members of parliament that we have right now and the commissioners in that commission can really come up with new policies so that we reward people depending on their work they are doing, not necessarily the point they are joining the employment. For example, you see software development, you spend late nights, you wake up very early. We spend a lot of money in school learning. You spend a lot of energies coming up with these softwares. And if you are not rewarded based on what you did, then if Microsoft comes and tells me, Alex, I'm giving you this 6-figure salary, I'll not say no. Because right now we have bills that we're supposed to pay. The economy in Kenya right now is not doing very well. I'll quickly take that remote job that is paying me well and leave this job that is paying peanuts here in Kenya. So ideally, the role the government can play is let them have a good payment plan for all its employees, rewarding them based on the work they are doing, not necessarily the year of joining employment.
Right, definitely. And the government has a very key role, of course, in ensuring, because even when it comes to regulation, I think the government will be there. So it's important that they support the development as they also look at matters of regulation. Now, while we are still on software development in Kenya, a few weeks ago, I was on social media, actively on Twitter. You can continue tagging us at Richard_Okenye at KUTV Kenya. So there was a discussion, a very heated debate between two factions of the world of technology. On one side, there were people who had undertaken computer science courses and related courses in university for 5 or so years. And then there's others who are self-trained. As we've come to know, the internet is a place of vast resources, so you can train yourself to be a software developer. Many of them, I'm sure, some could be your friends that you know who are self-trained software developers. And there's a bit of friction between these people who went through the curriculum and these people who trained themselves, each pointing fingers at the inadequacy of the other, saying that if you went to school, there's nothing relevant, industry relevant that you got to learn. But if you didn't go to school as well, they're also being told that you missed on a few key pointers that were necessary for you to attend school so that you can learn. Is software development something that I can train myself and be confident, or do I need to go to school? As someone who went to school to study this.
So I have two quick things to say about that. Number one, we have people who found themselves in maybe computer science or software engineering, not by design. They were just placed by the Central Placement Service in Kenya. Then we have this other person who is passionate, who just decided that instead of going to college, I want just to get myself a computer and internet, because they are very clear on what they want to do. So irrespective of how you studied, at the end of the day, we look at the skill sets that you have, the expertise that you've acquired, and I think that is what is important to employers. I think CBC is going to address that issue, and I'm really hoping also that the curriculum, the Institute of Curriculum Development here in Kenya, is going to review the curriculum of computer science in Kenya, so that we make sure that we teach our learners the skill set that is required by employers out here. This self-taught engineer just studies what employers need. But while in school, right now, the curriculum that we have there, you have to follow some set curriculum that might not necessarily be in line with the employer's current status right now. Because also the employment sector has been evolving. The technologies that are being used by these companies right now have evolved. But this learner who is learning at home has the luxury to choose a specific thing or a current technology that is being used. But the disadvantage of a learner in school, you will just be after passing exams, passing the CATs, and not necessarily getting the skills, and getting the degree, of course, and not necessarily getting the skills that the companies currently expect. So ideally, at the end of the day, for me, is hard work will make the difference, because everybody is smart. The guy who learned at home is smart. The guy who went to school is smart. But now, whoever will work hard will be the best.
Right. How can then, how do you feel universities and institutions of higher learning can get to adapt to the changing trends in technology? And I think from then we can get to look at some of those emerging trends in software. But first, how can universities, Kenyatta University, University of Nairobi, public institutions, high school, how do you think they can get to keep pace with the developments in the world of tech?
One is, I really look forward to most of these learning institutions in Kenya collaborating with these companies. Let us have Microsoft come to KU here, build a hub, and start incubating the learners and tutoring them and showing them the technologies that they are doing. Let them also partner with these companies for things like attachments and internships, so that these learners, after learning in class, these comrades straight go to those companies where they go do exactly what they learned in class. But right now, what is happening in Kenya, because of the lack of employment, you get a computer scientist who is working as a security personnel at a gate, something that is so much at breaking. So I think one thing that universities should do is come up with one of the best strategies of making sure that all the graduates get a place immediately they graduate.
Right. All right. I'm hoping that university stakeholders are having a look at this. When it comes to emerging technologies, before I get into it, let me just real quick bring people up to speed. The popular chatbot from AI company OpenAI, that is ChatGPT, amassed 57 million users in the first month of launch last year in November. By January, it had 100 million users and actually 13 million active independently active users per day. I think the word they usually use is the fastest growing consumer application in history. To put this into context, TikTok took about 9 months before it got to 100 million users. Instagram took 2.5 years before it got to 100 million users. It is estimated that by December of this year, ChatGPT is going to have double of these 13 million unique visitors that it currently is experiencing. These are emerging technologies which are sprouting all across the world, and there's a couple of fears, yeah? But before we get into the fears, what can we do to keep pace individually? You know, someone who's watching this, maybe there's a fear that, oh, this AI and all these developments are going to replace me from my job, which is, I think, the number one fear that everyone has, or I'm going to get too dumb and technology will get too smart and eventually it takes over. Is that going to be a possibility? But how can we keep pace fast before we address the fears?
I want to use a calculator to explain this.
Right.
When I was in school, I remember when we were in Form 1, our mathematics teacher used to deny us to use a calculator. But I used to think, even if you give me a calculator and I'm not good in mathematics, I'll not score everything. A calculator is just a tool that helps you to perform your arithmetic operations.
Right.
These ChatGPT and these intelligent softwares that have been created by software developers, ideally they work like a calculator. They're only meant to make your work easier. For example, you want to write an email quickly. You have your own ideas, but maybe you don't have time to write a very long email. So you give it your ideas, it quickly generates an email for you. So what this intelligent system has done is just make your work easier. If maybe you are using 20 minutes to write the email, you use 10 minutes, and then you can use the other 10 minutes to do some other things, thus saving on time. So people should not be worried at all about these intelligent systems, because basically these intelligent systems, they have been created by human being. A computer, be it intelligent as it will always require a human interaction. No intelligent system works on its own,
right,
including an automated teller machine. It is an automated teller machine, yes, but for you to get the cash out of it, it requires a human being.
Right.
A human. You cannot remove.
You can come and stand there and wait for it to know you need some money.
Exactly. You will always need a human being to train these intelligent system, and we might lose some jobs, yes, but it also creates some jobs in return.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to worry about. Let us move with speed. I'm told when calculator was invented, mathematics teachers went on road and worker strike.
Right.
I'm seeing people also, they also want to do that, but I don't think it's the way to do. The wisest person is those ones that move with change and adapt with change. This is a new technology that has come. I hope that all of us in Kenya and all over in the world are going to move with this change, embrace it, and use it to make our work easier.
Right. Embrace it. Just like during the industrialization period, when machines came in, there was a lot of, commotion. What about our factory jobs? The conveyor belt. So many things have happened. Automation has been a discussion all across generations. So I think it's important, as you said there, that the wisest person is who moves with change. For someone who's trying to get into the world of software development, a young person who's watching us, how would you advise them to approach it?
I want first to congratulate all the Form 4 graduates who are expecting to join school, maybe starting this May up to September. As you pick your different careers, look at the end game. End game is normally the most important thing. Please do a course that you have a good plan for it after school. If you do technical courses, for example, computer science is a technical course. You're assured of self-employment even as you wait for employment ahead, maybe from the government or even from the private organizations. So I would really advise young people to consider technical courses such as, we have courses like cake baking. Did you know that cake baking make a lot of money?
Oh,
people
I know now.
Yes, people make a lot of money from baking cakes and selling cakes here in town. People make a lot of money from fashion design. Courses that requires you to use your creativity, come up with innovative solutions. When clients embrace them, you start making money out of it. So I would really encourage young people to consider pursuing technical courses. Let us avoid these they are called white-collar jobs. You want to pursue a course that will lead you to a white-collar job. Right now, the route is
towards creativity
courses
and innovation.
Yes.
Yes, that's a very good way to put it. I'll come back to get your last remark, but surprise, I have a game for you. I don't know if you were aware, but now you are, yeah? Okay. So, I'm also not aware of what we are doing, so I'm going to get I'm trying to get information from my producer and director. Bwana Ryan Ngure is giving us questions, and then we are going to be writing our answers. So it's a game that me and you play. Usionyeshe majibu yako. Do it like we did it in primary school. Unaficha hivi kidogo. Yeah, so we are going to get questions, and then after we are going to mark. Alafu tuone nani ako sharp, yeah? Nani ako lala class during when it was so there's going to be a timer for each of the questions that you are receiving as well. So when the timer runs out, una chill. I'll have to answer the next question. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
When is the last time you sat for an exam?
It has been, but I've done some online tests recently. I also still do job hunting, so.
Okay. So there's those interview questions as well.
Yes.
Let's go. The first question is here. Are we ready? Who is the person who started Amazon.com? Play timer. All right, those 10 seconds per question. Next question. What does IPO stand for? Time's up for that one. Third question, here we go. With more than 2.8 billion active users per month as of 2021, what is the name of the biggest social media platform in the world? What? I really hope it is this one. Atukopy. Let's go. Fourth question. Who is Tesla Motors CEO? Yes, we are. If you fail, they know. They will know. All right, 10 seconds gone. Number 5. Which corporation operates more than 11,000 locations globally and is the largest retailer in the world? Let's get it again, sorry. Let's get it again. The question goes, which corporation operates more than 11,000 locations globally and is the largest retailer in the world?
Alikufungulia server
bado. If you're at home, by the way, you can also be participating. Give me your answers right after we're done with this. Here's question number 6. With a market share of more than 92% as of 2021, what is the name of the biggest search engine in the world? All right. Here goes the last question. Which is the currency used in Japan? And then someone wrote, sorry. Which is the currency used in Japan? Let's go. All right, I am ready for the answers. Acha niandike hapa juu jina yangu usiende ukasema ni yako. Hakuna remarking, so this is going to be final. All right. Question number 1 was, who started Amazon.com? That is Jeff Bezos, right? Previously the richest man in the world. Currently in the top 3, I don't know where, but still billions of money. Sorry tumepata. Ni Mzee Bezos. All right. Question number 2, what does IPO stand for? The answer is, he wrote Internet Protocol. I wrote Initial Public Offering. Yes, sir. Hiyo umeuma nje mzee. Sasa
hiyo lazima ningegonga hiyo. So this is right?
Yes, that's right.
Initial Public Offering.
Yes, please. IPO stands for Initial Public Offering.
So what's that?
It's what companies do when they are going public for the first time.
Okay.
So what shares trade for in the first day. With more than 2.8 million active users per month as of 2021, what is the name of the biggest social media platform? He wrote Twitter. Twitter has 300 million users per month, so that won't be it.
So
I wrote Facebook. Yes, it's Facebook. Let's go. Next question. Who's the Tesla Motors CEO? Man, Musk like Elon. Mimi ndo nimepata.
Jamaa wewe ulikuwa na ile kitu.
Anasema tufungue servers. Next question. Operates more than 11,000 locations globally and is the largest retailer in the world. He wrote Coca-Cola. I wrote Amazon. Walmart. What? Hakuna Walmart Kenya, so I guess that's why.
Okay.
Nimezoea Kamindi Selfridges. Right. With a market share of more than 92%, which is the largest search engine in the world. Has to be Google, right? Asidhani kama kuna ingine. Right. Next question, which is the last question. Currency used in Japan, the Japanese yen. So amepata hii. Any 1, 2, 3 out of 3. Hiyo swali kwa ngapi? 7. 3 or 7. See me. That's my comment. See me in the office after this.
No, this is not very bad.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
The answers. The marks. Amesema yake tutafungua server baadaye. I got I only missed Walmart, so it's 6 out of 7. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's an A. I would join a very good school if I was graduating high school. Thank you very much for participating in that fun session and also giving us information on software development. Maybe finally, how can the software development industry in Kenya attract more investment and funding? We know that there are startups which are looking towards integrating AI within their systems, innovating around technology, and mostly, I think every startup, or as many startups I've tried to interact with, one of the core initial members is usually a dev. Yeah, there's the CEO, there's his whoever his co-founder is. Most likely it's usually a dev, but there's always has to be a dev in the team. What more can we do to attract more investment and funding into Kenya?
I want to congratulate the CEO of TechLead Africa. What she did is started doing whatever she was able to do, and went pitched his ideas to investors, and investors decided to invest their money. Because what happens currently is we have people with a lot of money, but they don't know where to invest. So as software developers, we need to also learn, get some writing skills, write very nice proposals, take these proposals to investors, let us go pitch our ideas in these boot camps, in these hackathons, in these forums. And I'm sure there's an eye which is always watching and will be willing to invest their money on the ideas that we have. As long as we have any creative idea, I'm sure no one will resist to invest their money in it. So I want to encourage all software developers, either beginners or at senior level, that let us participate in these public forums. Let us go pitch our ideas. Let us go tell people stories about the things we are doing. And I'm sure there's always an eye that is watching and will invest in our ideas.
All right, let's keep innovating, and the world is always watching. I think there's no way you can stifle a good idea whose time has come. So if you're innovating around software development, don't give up. I think this is the time. This is the most opportune moment in history for anyone who's trying to get into that kind of space, and they will definitely reap big into the future. Let me read a couple of feedback here, which is also to you. So maybe unaweza react to some of these people who are watching the show. Frederick Akiri, always ready to beat this cold in the UK and watch Biashara Tuesday, #KUTV. Great insights of leadership and governance. He is enjoying the show. Isaac Kimutai Kimtel, keep up the good work Mhesh. Mtandao ndio form. Yeah, I think this is someone who's been following your work in politics even from back then. Momi Foundation, yes. Let's changing computer science curriculum is the best way to go. It will help us achieve the talent
the CEO of
we want in the
Momi
future.
Is my classmate.
Ah, all right.
He studied electrical engineering, but decided to shift to software engineering, and currently working for remote companies in the US.
All right.
So you realize that it gives you an opportunity to work remotely for even companies that are not necessarily here in Kenya or even in Africa.
And you're paid in dollar rates.
In dollar. So when the dollar goes up here in Kenya,
wewe mambo yako iko shwari
kabisa.
If the shilling is weakening and you're working remotely, that's an advantage. However, we are also trying to make sure that you're paid while you're here, and those dollars ikifika, you also invest here in the country.
Yeah, so a big hello to to Ezron.
Right. Shout out to Ezron there, Momi Foundation. We are seeing you on the show. He's also saying that he believes software can be developed by the Kenyan community in tech, and he agrees with all your sentiments as regards to software development. Thank you very much, Alex, for creating time for us this morning.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Say hi to the people of KSS when you're back there, for another period of campaigns in the next 5 years. Wishing you all the best, but even in between, we are welcoming you back to discuss more on software development, governance, and leadership.
Yeah, in case there is an investor who wants to invest in our ICT park in KSS, feel free to visit KSS. We have a higher learning institution called Moi University here. There's a lot of space. We can do it there.
All right.
Yes.
Any shout out to the people of KSS before I close this up?
To all of them who believes in me, I say a big hello to you and a good day ahead.
All right, a good day ahead, but keep it here on Biashara Tuesday on Twitter. The hashtag you are using is the hashtag Biashara Tuesday. All the feedback I'm reading is on the platforms we are streaming live from, which is KUTV Facebook and also KUTV Kenya Live on YouTube. Coming